Grady's 80s.
It's Grady's 80s on all hits, K101. Now, as you know, I am a Jackson fan. I am the Jackson fan. And we're heading to the phone right now with Jermaine Jackson. Hello, Jermaine.
Grady, how are you?
I am doing wonderful. It is great to have you on the phone with us this evening. And, of course, everybody knows the whole Jackson 5 story. So we're going to get to that in just a bit. But the question I want to ask you first is, what are you up to now? What are you doing right now, Jermaine?
Very, very busy. I've been doing a lot of work in different parts of the country as far as on the charitable side. And we have a foundation called Earth Care International Foundation. And we do a lot in Bangladesh and Africa and third world places. And our whole mission is to alleviate the suffering of children anywhere in the world. And we have orphans in Bangladesh, and we bring medicine for the AIDS patients in Africa and things like that. And that's on the charitable side, but on the music side of things, or the industry side, we just got a show called Pop Dynasty, and it's myself, Latoya, and Tito are going to be judges, and this is kind of different, like Idol, where we're looking for the next family act, and they have to be from a family, and they have to really, really have talent for us to call them the next Pop Dynasty. So we're going to start taping that this summer, and probably be out by November or December, or maybe January or February. So we're going to be busy doing that, and just busy in the studio and traveling back and forth to Bahrain and that part of the region, pretty much.
All right, well, we've got more with Jermaine Jackson coming up right here on Grady's 80s. Keep it right here on All Hits K101. And Jermaine, real quick, tell us about the song Let's Get Serious. We're about to play it right now.
Well, Let's Get Serious was a song that I recorded with Stevie Wonder back in the 80s. And it was very, a very different experience for me, because the first time I sang a song at 4 in the morning, and there was this microphone called the PCM, I think, where it's mounted on the wall. And it's a flat piece of metal with a little stem on it. And I sung Let's Get Serious 4 in the morning facing the wall, but it was very early in the morning. Stevie is a true talent, and the song became very successful for us.
And here it is, Let's Get Serious. It's Grady's 80s on All Hits K101. There you go. It's Reedy Jackson and Centipede on All Hits K101. It's Grady's 80s, and we're talking with Jermaine Jackson tonight. How you doing, Jermaine?
I'm doing good, Grady. And you?
Oh, I'm wonderful, especially talking with you on the phone. This is awesome. Now tell me, when your brothers left Motown, you stayed behind. Why'd you stay?
I stayed at Motown because it was where we all got our start, and it had a lot to do with being loyal. And a lot of people during the time said I stayed because I was married to the boss's daughter. But if you notice, we were introduced to the world as the Jackson 5, and Motown from the very beginning gave us all our hits and our grooming. And we came to the table with a lot, too, because my father did a whole lot with us, my father and mother. But it was just a sense of loyalty. And so when the brothers moved on, I stayed because I felt that there's no other place that I wanted to be, where people groom you, they take the time, and they make sure that you know everything from A to Z about presenting yourself, presentation on stage, and just the whole dynamics of the show business. So they went on, and then they went to CBS, and I kind of stayed back, and then I started discovering groups like The Barge and Switch and Stephanie Mills and a lot of people in the business sort of working behind the scenes. But then I later sat down with my father-in-law, which was Barry Gordy, and I said, I want to see what's out there. And so he let me go, and I had about 5 more years onto my contract, and I was still married to Hazel during the time, which is his daughter. And she said to me, well, if you go, I'm still married to you because I didn't marry you because of the business. I married you because I love you. And so we went on to Arista Records, and she was still with me. And then that's when I joined Clive Davis, and we I started working with Whitney Houston from the very beginning, which I produced her first album, and then she went on to be a major, major star, and that's sort of part of my life. But it's been very interesting. I'll tell you this, Grady, I'm kind of spoiled in the business because I've only worked with two people in the business that I had to answer to. And those two were Berry Gordy and Clive Davis. I never answered to an A&R person or a vice president. I only answered to people who were at the top. And so it's hard for me now to go into a record label or anywhere and have these young A&R guys kind of telling me what to do because it's very hard. But that's pretty much the story of how that all unfolded.
That's very interesting. And also, tell us about the song. We're about to play it now. We've got Dynamite queued up. Tell us about that song.
Oh, wow. Clive Davis, he's a very good music person. He gets this song and he said, do you like this song? I'm going to send some tracks to you. We were kind of busy working on some other music, so he sent me this song and I said, I'll go in the studio and I'll cut it and I'll produce it. And I wanted to have that kind of punk rock kind of beat, and it worked out pretty good. And even the video, we went to a real penitentiary to film the video, and it was a lot of fun because it kept us away from the real inmates. But the song was a very good song. It does very well on stage because it's an upbeat song. It was great. Dynamite.
And here it is now. It's Dynamite on Grady's 80s All Hits, K101 with Jermaine Jackson. It's Grady's 80s on All Hits, K101. And there's my favorite song of yours, Jermaine. I Think It's Love. That is a cool song right there.
Oh, wow. That song, I could tell you the funny story about that song.
Okay.
Stevie Wonder, this was Michael Omartian, who did Bad Girls for Donna Summers and all those tracks. Him and I did the track. So I go to Stevie and I said, Stevie, give me some lyrics. And he said, he listened to the song and I kind of sung the melody to him. And so I said, he said, let's go to the studio in a few hours. And so I meet Stevie at the studio in a few hours. And so I said, where are the lyrics? And he tells me they're all in my head. So he said, just go out there in the vocal booth and get ready to sing what I tell you to sing. And he had all the lyrics in his head. Nothing on paper.
Wow.
And he dictated me the lyrics and I sung it. And it was that song, I Think It's Love, is a very happy kind of song.
Oh, yeah,
it's great. He's a great lyricist, though.
So, Jermaine, how often do you talk with your brothers and sisters right now?
All the time. We have the Jacksons are very active in sports, and we have a fast pitch softball team that we won the tournament year before last in Burbank, and we do a lot of things together on the sports side, and LaToya is going to be judging with me on the show, and I'm in constant contact with Janet just because she's getting ready to tour, so we kind of give each other advice on routing of tours and dates, and when she puts her band together, she sort of run musicians by us, and we just exchange ideas and stuff. But we're always together. We go to Neverland, and we have like family day where we go out there and we just let the kids run around, and we have a lot of fun.
And with Michael in Vegas, are you guys planning on getting on stage with him at any time if he gets this gig?
Well, I'll tell you, it's the strangest thing, because we all went to Las Vegas to have a family meeting, and it was right during the weekend of the NBA weekend. And we thought we were like going up there quietly as a family just to have a meeting. And when I got back, I went on to London 3 days later, and they knew about everything I did in Las Vegas. And so it's nothing private in this family at all. But I'll tell you though, Michael's he's busy just planning, and we want to get back out there, so we're planning it now. And it's just a matter of talks and timing and everything, because now we've committed to this Pop Dynasty show, which we're very excited about, because we're looking for the next family act who's, whether it's 3 or 5. And they have to really, really bring it to deserve that name, Pop Dynasty. So that's what we're looking for.
That sounds really cool. All right, tell us about the song Tell Me I'm Not Dreaming with Michael.
Wow. Michael and Marty and myself, we wrote that, and I went in the studio and I did my part. So Michael came in and he did the second verse, and we wanted to do kind of like a duet because Michael and I have always sung these parts. Like he would do a verse like we did I Want You Back and ABC and Stop the Love You Save, and he would do a verse, I'd do a verse, and we'd go back and forth on the vocal parts. And I had that kind of raspy voice during my teens. And I don't know, maybe because I hadn't had my tonsils out yet. but Michael had this real high voice, and so it kind of worked out because what Berry Gordy was doing, if you look at some of the old Motown music, there were always dynamics. Like you would have one voice and you have another strong voice to come in, and that voice would kind of wrap the whole verse up of the chorus, and then right at the end they'll go back and forth. So that's the format that he was working with that. So Tell Me I'm Not Dreaming was that type of song that we felt that we could bring some of that old Motown flavor back into it in that kind of duet thing. And it was really strong. When we did the Victory Tour in '84, people loved to hear that song. They really liked it a lot.
So here's Michael and Jermaine, Tell Me I'm Not Dreaming. It's Grady's 80s on All Hits, K101. There's the king of pop, Michael Jackson, with Smooth Criminal on All Hits, K101. It's Grady's 80s, and we're talking with Jermaine Jackson on the phone. How you doing, Jermaine?
I'm doing great, Grady. And you?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful, and I appreciate you talking with us this evening. A while back, you did the movie American Dream, and you produced that movie. So it's pretty true to life of what it was like to grow up in the Jackson family.
Yes, that movie was in the planning for 4 years before you saw it, but it's like one of the most watched miniseries on television history. We're very proud of it, and my mother is so cute. She said, nobody's going to want to watch this. I mean, she was serious, and we were trying to tell her, we're just going to tell our life story and see how it works and everything. And but the toughest part was kind of just meeting with all the different brothers and trying to really depict and portray them in the right light as to the series of events and what happened, and to really tell our life story. There's so much. So instead of going to the big screen, which is a feature, we went to television to give it to the world for free.
Right.
But it was a lot of fun and just reliving your memories and going back and seeing people. My son Jermaine Jr. He played me at the end. He was the one on the bass guitar.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. That was something that I always wanted to do.
I have to tell you that I cry every time that Tito gets pulled out and gets beat. That's a rough scene.
Yeah. See, we grew up during the time when spanking your kids was normal. The whole block got it, and one of those things that even to this day, my father has a certain we have a certain respect for him, and we grew up in an era where you have to respect your elders, and kids today, if you look at all the things that are going on in schools and high schools, it's because it starts at home.
Right.
And I did a whole thing all over the UK and the US too, about going to schools and talking to the kids about, listen, if you don't learn it at home, why should you even come to school to give the teachers a tough time? I mean, it starts at home, the respect, the discipline, and if your parents aren't going to instill the morals and the principles in you at home, then you're no good for the teacher, you're no good for your friends, you're no good for yourself or anybody. So that's how we grew up, and that's why to this day we still have respect for others and respect for ourselves.
Well, Jermaine, I want to thank you for talking to me. It's been the highlight of my career, as all my listeners know. I love your family. I'm looking forward to Pop Dynasty coming out maybe later this year, and, of course, more albums from anybody in your family. I can't wait.
Well, Grady, anytime you need me or anybody in the family, just let us know, and we will definitely talk to you.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Why don't you do what you do when you do?
Hi, this is Jermaine Jackson, and you're listening to Grady Butler, honorary member of the Jackson family.